Well, Phillies found a way to split the series. I guess you could say that's what they had to do. That's what they had to do. Bottom line, they had to split the series. You couldn't drop 3 or 4 to the San Francisco Giants. And yes, I will give the Phillies credit. They did find a way to split the series, even though overall, big picture mode, I'm still not very happy with a series split to San Francisco, and I'm just still not overly happy with the way they're playing. So that's definitely going to go into the factor of this recap, but still, I'll give them credit where credit is due just because they did find a way to split. Cristopher Sanchez was really good. Got a new career high in strikeouts with 12. That changeup was just absolutely dicing up the Giants all day long. The defense did, try to cause Cristopher Sanchez a little bit of hiccups. Trey Turner definitely struggled at shortstop for the first time this season defensively. He had 2 errors and a 2-run home run, cuts the Phillies 5-1 lead to 5-3. You have a big bottom of the first inning against Jordan Hicks. He can't hit the strike zone at all. You found a way to score a bunch of runs. But then when you have a big promising thing with your offense to start the game, you basically get one hit the rest of it. Thank God you scored 5 runs. And thank God the ball that Alec Bohm hit the deep center field went in and out of the glove of the center fielder. It was funny, too. The ball almost popped out of the glove and over the fence, which would have counted as a 3-run shot for Bohm, but still it's popped in and out of the glove, scored 2 runs. It became a 5-1, 5-0, or 5-1 lead, actually, because the Giants actually got on the board early in the top of the first. But, it was a good inning by the offense. I just really hated the way that the offense was the rest of the game. Jordan Hicks really settled in. He found a way to go 7 innings, but overall, I just like they find ways to do good things in this game, but then they always find ways to piss you off. That's what the Phillies' motto has been basically this entire season. When they do one thing good, they do a couple of more things bad, and it could just never be a full positive message that you can get out from this game. It's weird. It's very weird. I'm not gonna bash them fully because they won a game. I'm gonna bash them because they only had 1 hit past the first inning. Like that just can't happen. Thank God they tacked on the insurance run in the bottom of the 8th inning, thanks to the Giants pitcher's wildness and throwing a bunch of wild pitches. Thankfully, that was the case because Alvarado gives up a solo shot, which, if the Phillies didn't score in the bottom of the 8th, would have been a 1-run game, and the Giants eventually would have had to go ahead and run at the plate in the tying run on first base after Lee got on. So Alvarado managed to get the business done there. Bullpen was really good. The pitching overall today was good. Cristopher Sanchez was really good. Kerkering came out for the 8th inning. He was really good. And Alvarado gave up that 1 run, but besides that, it was a fairly quick inning for Jose. Still, it's just overall the offense, like they showed some good signs in the first inning, but then it's just the way they were the rest of the game. That's just going to leave that sour taste in my mouth. It just is. It just is. Like you score 5 runs, which is very good. I'm not gonna kill them for scoring 5 runs. That's great. That's great. They took advantage of it. They put the ball in play and everything like that. They got a hit with the bases loaded, for crying out loud. But didn't you just get 1 hit the rest of the game? It just leaves a fucking sour taste in my mouth, man. It just does. But before we get into the rest of today's game, everybody, what's going on? Welcome back to TTP Sports. If you are new to the channel, I recommend you hitting that subscribe button. Does me a great deal of service. You can also use the code TTP Sports, $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. It is a great deal. Don't pass it up. You can also drop a like and leave a comment in the comment section down below. And you can also leave a follow at TTP Sports on TikTok and Instagram for real shorts and all that good stuff. You can also leave a call or a text or a voicemail on the Anytime hotline. It's right there on the below your screen, 215-839-9885 for future streams, recaps, breaking news, anything like that. It's good stuff. So, you found a way to split the series, which is the important thing at the end of the day. You didn't end up losing the series, so I guess it is you salvaged it, which probably is the summary right there. But like I said, overall, 6 hits in this game. You had 5 hits in the first inning. You only had 1 hit following the first inning. That's just it's just when you get those runs, you don't tack on more runs just to, you let the Giants creep into the game a little bit there. That's the problem. That's the major problem there, regardless of how good Cristopher Sanchez was, because Cristopher Sanchez was very good. 7 hits, 4 hits allowed, 2 earned runs, 3 runs total because of an error, 1 walk, 12 strikeouts on 97 pitches. Cristopher Sanchez was really, 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 really good today. 12 strikeouts is a career high. Kerkering came in for the 8th, only threw 13 pitches, 9 strikes, struck out 2. Very dominant inning by him. Alvarado allowed 2 hits, 1 earned run on the solo shot, and then managed to have a quick inning by his regards, only on 14 pitches. Looking at the Phillies' offense in totality, like I said, they had 6 hits. Majority of the damage came from the top of the lineup. Bryson Stott went 1 for 3 with a walk. Trey Turner went 1 for 3. Bryce Harper went 0 for 2 with 2 walks and 2 runs scored. Kyle Schwarber, he went 2 for 3 with 2 RBI and a walk. Nick Castellanos, he went 1 for 3 with an RBI. He did leave the game early. I believe it was like a hip flexor issues that he was feeling, or tightness or something like that, I believe someone said. So Sosa came into the ball game. He walked in his, or he had a sac fly in his lone at bat in the bottom of the 8th inning to give that Phillies that insurance run. Max Kepler, an ugly day. He went 0 for 4. JT Realmuto, an ugly day. He went 0 for 3 with a walk and 3 strikeouts. Alec Boehm, he went 1 for 3 with the RBI in the bottom of the 1st. And then Johan Rojas went 0 for 2 with a walk in this game. That is very surprising. Phillies went 3 for 10 with runners in scoring position. They left 4 runners total on base. And just looking at where all the damage basically came from, you look at that bottom of the 1st inning, Giants, they get their 2-out RBI in the top of the 1st. Bottom of the 1st, Bryson Stott leadoff single, Trey Turner infield single, thanks to some of the bobbles by the Giants defense. The Giants defense also had a fair share of defensive woes in this game. It wasn't just Trey Turner. Bryce Harper, he then walked Kyle Schwarber. He got down 0-2 in the count, found a way to fight a ball off into the outfield for a single, scored 2 runs there. Nick Castellanos then followed that up with a single of his own, made it 3-1 Phillies. Then I thought, okay, they're going to leave the meat and potatoes on the bones right here because Kepler fouls out. JT with a very bad at bat as he strikes out swinging, but during the Alec Boehm at bat, a wild pitch by Hicks manages to bring home Kyle Schwarber there on the wild pitch, so it becomes a 4-1 game. Then Alec Boehm hits the deep ball to center field, which goes in and out of the glove of the center fielder. And for some reason, they scored it a triple when it goes in and out of the glove. It should have been an error. Probably should have been an error, a double or an error or something like that. Even though, like I said, it was funny too because the ball was just this close to bouncing out of the glove and over the fence, which would have counted as a home run. But it's just like, should not have been a triple. Should not have been counted as a triple, freaking MLB scorers. So, it's a 5-1 Phillies lead after 1. You feel good there. You feel good. But then let's look at the rest of the game to see how they didn't get any hits, basically. Bottom 2nd, they go down 1-2-3 after Trey Turner gets hit by a pitch with 1 out. Hit right on the fucking back of his left hand by a 100-mile-an-hour pitch, I believe, from Jordan Hicks. And then the very next play, Trey Turner gets picked off from first base, caught in between, basically. Then Bryce Harper flies out on a pitch that he could have drive, and you heard Bryce Harper in that at-bat just scream at himself, get pissed off because he knew he missed one. So it's a 1-2-3 in technicality for the Phillies in the bottom of the 2nd. Bottom of the 3rd, they go down 1-2-3. Bottom of the 4th, a leadoff walk for JT. Boehm grounds out into a double play. Rojas then walks, and he steals second base, and then Bryson Stott strikes out. Bottom 5 for the Phillies, Trey Turner reaches in on a fielding error. Bryce Harper lines out. Schwarber reaches in on an infield single because of another bobble by the shortstop. And then Castellanos' first pitch grounds it to a double play. So, another missed opportunity right there. Bottom 6, they go down 1-2-3. Bottom 7, after a 1-out Bryson Stott walk, Trey Turner grounds out into a double play. Then bottom 8, thankfully, the Phillies tacked on that insurance run because the Giants, they crept into the ballgame because Chapman hit a home run, a 2-run shot in the top of the 6th inning thanks to a throwing error by Trey Turner, which allowed, the runner to get on base. Bottom 8, Bryce Harper leads off with a walk. He then gets the second base on a wild pitch. Kyle Schwarber then walks. And then another wild pitch allows both runners to advance to 2nd and 3rd. Then Sosa battles an at bat, finds a way to get the ball into the outfield. I didn't think it was deep enough. I thought it was a little bit shallow, but thank God the throw by Yastrzemski in right field was off. Allowed Bryce to score, and Schwarber also went to 3rd base in the process, so it became a 6-3 Phillies lead. So productive out there by Sosa coming into the ballgame. Kepler, then he strikes out in a very ugly at bat. Then they go back to the bullpen. They bring in the underarm thrower Rogers to face JT, and then he struck out. So another chance to add on to the lead. They do not do that, but they did get an insurance run. Alvarado comes into the ballgame, gets the first out. Then Fitzgerald, first pitch he sees, he hits a solo shot, made it 6-4. Flores then grounded out, a nice play by Trey Turner. Trey Turner had a very up-and-down game in the field. Jesus Christ, 2 errors, and he had some nice plays in there, too. I have no other fucking clue what the fuck happened there. Then Young-Hoo Lee came into the ball game, reached it on an infield single. It was a weird chopper for both Bryson Stott and Trey Turner, so he reached first base. Lee So he got that infield single, and then Koss grounds into a fielder's choice to end the ball game there for the Phillies as they salvage the series and split the series, the 4-game set with the San Francisco Giants. They're now at 11-8 on the season as they welcome the Miami Marlins into town this weekend, as the Miami Marlins also got swept by the Arizona Diamondbacks. So, like I said, it was something that you needed to do. Something that you needed to do. I'm still not overly impressed by this game. Nowhere near hell I'm fully impressed by this game, because even though they showed some promise in that bottom of the first inning, Hicks was all over the place, and you also just didn't record a hit past the bottom of the first inning. You had 1 hit past the bottom of the first inning. 6 hits in total in this game. And that's just the way this team has been for the first few weeks. And I just don't know the way it keeps going. It's very, very, very frustrating to watch, because it just goes to the fact that your pitchers have to be perfect. And thank God Cristopher Sanchez was very dominant in today's game. He was very good. He was very fun to watch. That changeup was working a lot for him. So Sanchez had a good outing. So really can't complain on that factor from the Cristopher Sanchez front. And your bullpen did your job today. Bullpen also did its job, besides Alvarado, who allowed a home run, but he still got the save in the process. So very weird stuff, boys. Very weird stuff. Excuse me there. Feeling a tickle in my nose. That's what caused me to sneeze. That's why I'm rubbing my nose so much. Jesus. It's a weird day. It's a weird day overall. Excuse me again. So, if we look, like I said, the Phillies, they play the Miami Marlins this weekend. Tomorrow, I believe Zach Wheeler is on the bump, if I'm not mistaken, and it's also the first time we'll be seeing Sandy Alcantara since he had his Tommy John surgery. So far, Sandy is 2-0 with a 4.7 ERA, and in his 3 starts of the season, the Marlins have won all of his starts. He went 4 2/3 innings in his first start against the Pirates, allowed 2 earned runs, struck out 7. He went 5 innings against the Mets, allowed 2 earned runs, struck out 4. He went 5 2/3 against the Nationals, struck out 1, allowed 4 walks, 4 earned runs. So that was his worst start so far of the season. So the Phillies, history-wise, they do have success against Alcantara, so we'll see what it is. And then Taijuan Walker pitches on Saturday against Cal Quantrill, and then Jesus Luzardo goes up against Connor Gillespie on Sunday. Of course, the game that I'm going to is Saturday, and that's when Taijuan Walker is on the mound. Joy. Hopefully Zach Wheeler can find a way to regain some form here, because he has not looked his best in the past few starts. 6 innings, 4 earned runs against the Cardinals, and then 5 1/3, 5 earned runs against the Atlanta Braves, and he has allowed a home run in each of his 4 starts this year. So hopefully Zach Wheeler can just find a way to figure it out. Hopefully that is the case for Zach. And then after the Marlins series, you go on the road to face the New York Mets before finally you get an off day in the middle of the week. Then you go play the Chicago Cubs on the road. So we'll see how it carries on us going into this week. It's just, like I said, it's still like not a feel-good thing overall. It's just, bleh. Still feel it. Like it's a win. It's a win. I hate feeling like this after a win, but it still looked ugly in the process. Win is good. Get it good for it. Like I said, I'm fighting it. I'm fighting it overall. Hopefully it's nothing too concerning with Castellanos that they just took him out of the game. So hopefully we'll get an update on him just to see what the full thing is going on there. So hopefully it's nothing that keeps him out long-term or short-term, because he has been overall been our best hitter of the season, with him and Kyle Schwarber. And Schwarber does, even though he had a good game today, lately Schwarber has been a little bit dying off with the hits, but, he got the 2 hits today, so still he's been overall one of our better hitters. Same thing with Castellanos. And Bryce does look like he's finding his form again, especially when he hit the back-to-back home runs, the past 2 nights. He had some good swings today, so I think Bryce is starting to regain the form a little bit there. Stott had another hit. He's batting .271 on the season, .348 on base percentage, so that's at least when you can hopefully Stott can just stay around there. Turner really has to get it going with the bat. He just looks lost right now. Kepler, .228 average. He's got to get the power going. JT, You know, he's going to have his good games. He's going to have his bad games at this point in his career. Alec Boehm, he's been getting some hits in his past few games, so hopefully the one that he had today, even though he got some luck with the center fielder booting it, hopefully, you know, you just made some good contact, you drove the ball, maybe that can just give you some confidence there. And for Brandon Marsh, he was supposed to play today, but I believe he got banged up on the play last night where the ball, like, took a weird hop and he had to do, like, a weird stance to try to get the ball, so maybe getting caught in between, like, tweaked his leg up a little bit. I'm not entirely sure. So I would assume we're going to be seeing Johan Rojas for the next few games unless Brandon Marsh will be good to go for tomorrow or this weekend or something like that. I have no idea. I really have no idea. So yeah, it's one of those days. Here's a post right here just speaking of what I was talking about from Destiny Lagardo on Twitter, writes for Phillies Nation. And she says Brandon Marsh is day-to-day, and Rob Thompson thinks Castellanos will be back tomorrow. So at least that could be a good touch right there. So yeah, really not much else going on today in terms of, I don't think the Mets played today at all. So no, the Mets do play today. They played the Cardinals. But I do think the Mets have lost their past couple of games. So it's been a weird start to the season for a lot of teams. Really, it has been. Yeah, the Mets are 11-7, and the Phillies are 11-8. So yeah, the Mets have lost 2 in a row as well. So it's weird. It's a very weird stuff going on here. And then, yeah, pretty much that's it. Marlins, they're coming in. They got swept by the Diamondbacks. Marlins, in theory, should be a team that you can handle, but the way this team has been playing, nothing is guaranteed. So I am not guaranteeing shit. Not guaranteeing shit. So we'll see where everything gets going here. And hopefully tonight, I'm not sure if Sean's in the chat or not, but if Sean, if you're watching this, we got to pray that the Philadelphia Flyers lose this final game. We got to pray that the Philadelphia Flyers lose this final game. Need them to lose. Need them to lose. Danny Briere looks like he's kind of committed to the tank for this game. He put Kolosov in net. So it was originally supposed to be Fedotov, but they instead changed it to Kolosov. So maybe that's Danny Briere getting into the year of Bradshaw. We got to lose this game. Got to lose this game. So maybe there's something to it. Maybe there's something to it. But let's get to the Anytime Hotline here. This will be more of a quicker stream than not, so you guys can enjoy the rest of your night. So we do have 2 calls here, one from Sean, one from Zach. Let's get to Sean first because I don't think he's left a call in the past few days. So let's hear it out. Oh, geez, can't hear. Wait, cannot hear it, cannot hear it. Well, okay, let's see. Voicemail, let's see. That should work now.
Cause.
There we go. There we go. Got to replay it. Sorry, boys.
I'll tell you how out of it I am with the Phillies, Amadeo. I should have known this, but I didn't even realize today's game was an early start. So bad on me. Good on Cristopher Sanchez. I mean, right now, Cristopher Sanchez and Jesus Luzardo are the main pitchers and main stoppers on this team. They've picked up the slack where Wheeler and Nola have dropped the ball. I mean, I'm glad they won today, but all in all, not a good series. I mean, a 4-game split at home against the Giants, a team that you're more talented than, despite the record, to me is unacceptable. But at least you salvage something. There's still a lot of concern here. Bullpen shaky. Wheeler and Nola, especially, their performances cause for concern. The lineup, major cause for concern. The lack of productivity at center field at all. I mean, more questions than answers right now. But again, Cristopher Sanchez, I hope his development continues because this kid's just going to get better. The more success he gains, the more confidence he gains. And again, him and Luzardo are doing the job. It's just a shame that the other three guys around him aren't.
Yeah, I do agree with that. Right now,
Tell
basically, yeah, it's been Cristopher Sanchez and Jesus Luzardo just doing their hardest to win games. Yeah, Zach Wheeler had his good first start in the opening day, but really since then he has, even though he did have a good start against the Colorado Rockies, his stuff really wasn't the best. He just got away with it because of the Rockies, but his last two starts really hasn't been Zach Wheeler-esque. And Nola, just for some, I don't know what's wrong with Nola. I really do not know. So yeah, good for Sanchez and good for Luzardo for picking up the slack because those guys have been very good. But yeah, you're right. The concerns are still there. So it's good that you found a way to salvage something, but overall, can't be really happy with a series split at the end of the day. But yeah, you did salvage it, so I guess there is something to point out there, just something to look positive, trying to build some confidence on it. But it's like I said, it's just one of those games where still feels like they didn't do anything right. You know what I mean? Like they did things right and they still found a way to do things wrong, if that makes sense. Let's get the Zach's call, and then we'll end it off here so I can go watch the Flyers hopefully fucking lose tonight.
Textbook salvage job there. You know, after going down and losing those two games, I guess they won the second game. You really needed to win this game just to split. I said after the first game, the best they could probably do at that point was split. That's what they did. So no complaints there. Kind of dug themselves in a hole bit in this series. Cristopher Sanchez threw the ball really well today. The changeup was nasty. 12 strikeouts. I mean, guy's pretty good. You know, that first inning, you know, you're saying, oh, here we are, getting runs in the first inning. And what did I say in the Discord? Watch them not score another damn run for the rest of the game. They scored one more. So that's definitely an issue. It's just this offense seems to get it going for a short bit of time.
They
then
can't
they
keep
die
it consistent.
Again. So I don't know what to say. Alec Boehm did rip a ball really well in that first inning. I guess they ruled it a triple. I thought that thing was headed out. But you'll take it. Kyle Schwarber with the RBI single. Nice to see him do that early, but again, you just got to find a way to chip a few more throughout the rest of the game. Of course, Mickey went out with the, whatever it was, his hip flexor or something. Hope he's okay because at this point he's your only productive outfielder. And Kirkring had a good inning. You know, nice to see a clean inning. Jose gave up the one bomb, but, you know, did a good job, get the save, got out of it. So, yeah, all in all, good win. You know, some complaints, but you'll take it. Now we're on to Miami. At this point, I don't care. You got to sweep the Marlins. That team sucks. I know we're always, win the series, win it. And, yeah, you want to win the series, but after the way things have gone recently, you need a sweep. I'm demanding a sweep out of the Philadelphia Phillies. I don't know how long this call is. It is definitely long. So I'm going to hang it up. Go, Phil. Peace.
I think you're putting a little bit too much eggs in the basket there for a sweep against the Marlins. I don't see it happening. I'll be gladly happy if they do sweep the Marlins, but I'm not putting anything there to predict that. They do have Wheeler, they do have Luzardo on the mound, and I know Zach Wheeler has struggled, but still with Wheeler on the mound, you should be in a good spot. Yeah, they do got Taijuan Walker on Saturday, so we don't know what's going to happen there. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But that will do it for today, everybody. We're a couple of minutes away from the Flyers game, so I'm probably either going to be very miserable for the rest of the night. Honest to God, you might see me again tonight if the Flyers win or lose. So maybe we'll do something like that and talk about some Flyers. So maybe there'll be something for that there. So I do appreciate the guys that did tune into this, you know, early evening stream for the Phillies. It's always weird when it's an afternoon game. Not many people are paying attention to the YouTube stuff, but still, I appreciate you guys for turning out as always. So if there is something Flyers related tonight, I'll let you know. You'll probably see something posted on Twitter. It really will depend on if they win. If the Flyers win in regulation, 100%. I am getting on a stream and fucking ranting. If they lose, I'll probably talk about them regardless. So you'll see something pop up in the subscription feed. So be tuned for that, everybody. Appreciate you all for tuning out. Don't forget to hit subscribe. Don't forget to drop a like and leave a comment. Don't forget to use the code TTPSPORTS, $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek, and also follow on TTP Sports on TikTok and Instagram. So appreciate you guys tuning in. I'll see you next time. Oh, before Michael, 7th would be the end of the world because this draft is considered a 6-player draft. So it's realistically trying to avoid the worst case scenario of dropping back 2 spots. So getting 4th is important because if you drop back 2 spots, you drop back to 6 in a 6-player draft. So I'll explain it more later in the flyer.